Hello, I'm Mario and welcome to another episode of my Parks Explorer series. Today we're going to a state park, and we're going to a state park in New Hampshire, and more specifically we're going to the Mount Washington State Park. And in order to get there we have to summit Mount Washington, which is the highest peak in the Northeast. And that's why we're here in Gorham, New Hampshire, because really if it wasn't for the railroad coming through Gorham, then tourism would never really spread to this area east of the White Mountains. And so because of the Androscoggin Valley and the Androscoggin River, that really is, that terrain is really what provided access for the railway to get built between Montreal and Portland, Maine. And so with that commerce being opened up, it really provided a lot of opportunities to get tourism onto the east side of the White Mountains. And so it's also the railroad that built the bridle path, which summits Mount Washington. So it was them that did that. And so there were hotels and all sorts of things to support the tourism back in the mid-1800s. And so there's a lot of history here, but really our objective is to get to the top of Mount Washington. There's more than one way to do it. So you can take the cog railway, which is still available today, and also you can hike up, right? You can hike up to the top of Mount Washington, but we're gonna drive up. And so we're gonna use the auto road, which used to be, it used to be a carriage road. And so, yeah, they used to take, in the mid-1800s, they used to take carriages and horses up to the top of Mount Washington. So I'm contending with the sun, but back behind me over this direction there's a tennis court. Well, that used to be an area where a major hotel was back in the day, back in the mid-1800s, late 1800s. And so this train station here played a major role in bringing tourism to this area as well as commerce. And so it was a General Macomb back in the day, back in the mid-1800s, that started the actual carriage road, which is now the auto road. And well, he made it halfway through, but then a second company had to take over. And so that's what we're gonna go do right now. We're gonna go visit that auto road and pay the existing company now some money to access the top of Mount Washington. So let's head on over to the truck right now. In order to get up to the auto road, we're going to have to travel on Highway 16 and actually enter into the National Forest, the White Mountain National Forest. And then we're just going to follow the signs for auto road. And so let's see, I think this is Highway 16 at the stop sign. So just turning right here at the stop sign, and then that'll put our back to Gorham, New Hampshire, and then we're heading into White Mountain National Forest, and then I'm looking for the signs that are going to say Mount Washington Auto Road. And it looks like we got about 8 miles to go. So the auto road itself is a privately owned road, and you have to pay to get on it. And if I remember correctly, it's $39, and then they charge for extra passengers. There's a different rate for motorcycles. What you want to do is you want to check online to make sure that one, that the conditions are good for travel, that the place is open. And it could be open because, it could be closed because of weather, but there's also special events that they have out there on this auto road. So there could be a bicycle race, or a car race, or a rally race, or a hill climb. There's a bunch of events that could possibly be happening. So you need to check online. There are plenty of places to stay around. In fact, they just recently built or rebuilt the Glen House, which is essentially at the base of the auto road. If you are planning a trip to the summit of Mount Washington, it's important to check on the weather. So today it's about 70 degrees and it's going to be really, really warm. There's very minimal amount of cloud cover. There's supposed to be a little bit of a breeze happening later on in the day, but what I'm getting at is I'm bringing layers. Right now I'm in t-shirt and shorts, but that doesn't mean I didn't throw a bunch of clothes into a grocery bag. So I mean, I got a windbreaker, I got my emergency poncho, I got you know, extra flannel pullover. I mean, I got layers, and so got to be prepared for changing weather, even when the forecast says, you know, it's going to be clear and in the 80s. Wow, there's some crazy mountain views even right here. I don't even know the names of all the peaks, but we're coming up on certain sections of the national forest, and in fact, this is the ranger station coming up ahead, and this is specific to the Androscoggin region. So there's different, I think there's maybe 3 ranger stations for the White Mountain National Forest. And so at any rate, we just passed the entrance to the one for the Androscoggin region. And then even up a little bit further is going to be a couple of camping areas. And I can't remember the name of one that's going to be coming up. But yeah, right now we're entering the White Mountain National Forest. Okay, so I think we're actually approaching the base right now. So yeah, it says half mile ahead. Okay, yeah, and then so here is the Glen House on my right. And the entrance is hard to see here. There's a big sign though.
Would you like?
I don't know why somebody's parked right there, but they are. So this looks like the entrance. And then yeah, off on the left, I don't know, they got a store there, and that's where the tours are. You can buy tours and whatnot. But I'm just going to do the self-guided tour. So car and drivers $39, motorcycles $25, children are $9. Additional passengers are $14, so that's pretty steep. But hey, they're out here giving us access, so I'm not going to complain. And if you're worried, there is a gift shop. Okay, apparently we're currently at 1,565 feet elevation. So wow, this is really nice and wooded. This is neat. But yeah, we're only at 1,500 feet. So it seems like as we go up in elevation, I think we're going to be seeing different plant life and different climate changes, different climate areas. So I think there's even going to be like an alpine region, but the way I understand it is there's information centers at the top. You'll have plenty of opportunity to learn about what's going on in the area. So when we get to the top, I want to make sure that I visit the observation center up there. So there's a state park building, and so we'll have to see what that's all about. And at the first mile, we're at 2,000 feet. And if you want to, you can download a application on your telephone, and it'll give you like a guided tour on the way up. Alternatively, you can go online. The company that owns this toll road, you can go to their website and download an audio file, and actually listen to the audio file as you drive up and drive down. So there are small turnouts here and there. The road's rather wide. It's not very narrow. So there should be plenty of room for 2 trucks as an example, to pass each other going in opposite directions. So at 3,000 feet, the terrain hasn't changed very much at all, but I can get glimpses here and there of how the trees are going to be very different soon. Wow, some spectacular views, but I got to keep my eye on the road. Wow, there's some crazy views. I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but this is, I don't know, it's pretty exciting, and it's giving me anticipation of what things are going to be like. So here we are coming up on mile 3, and it's already just super interesting. So I'm coming up on a spot where we should be kind of switching back to the other direction. So I'm expecting some sort of terrain change, some sort of change in the view. Wow. There's definitely a lookout here. Let's check this out. Kind of facing the sun, but there's even a little trail. So from the camera's point of view, it's not really an awesome overlook because of the position of the sun right now currently, but it is interesting to see that there's these little turnouts here, and back here there's a little trail, but yeah, we want to go way up there. Let's see if this, I don't want to get the sun, but yeah, way up there. This is awesome. So the terrain hasn't changed dramatically, but it is changing, and the trees seem to be getting shorter, and I think pretty soon as we approach mile 4 here that we're going to start seeing less and less trees and a different type of ground cover. Definitely see more rocks exposed. Wow, look at the vistas. Wow. Oh my gosh. So we're at 4,000 feet, and we're coming around that bend that I mentioned, and it just opened up an interesting vista, and just incredible. Just incredible. Well, I'm excited for what is in store for us at the top. So the terrain has definitely changed here, and it doesn't really feel too much like a typical shelf road. But here you can see like the asphalt seems to have gone away, and we're more on a dirt road right now. But yes, I would say the road's very well maintained. So I'm kind of facing the sun, but I think we're going to have another dramatic turn here. Wow. So we're kind of change angles again here. Yeah, coming up here, make a sharp right and kind of go back the direction we were heading in the first place. Wow, wow. So cool. Just wow. And we're back onto pavement, so I think they probably scraped that area there because they were working on the road's foundation. Another awesome turnout there. All right, 5,000 feet elevation, here we are. Another little turnout here. These are some crazy vistas. The vegetation is definitely different. All the shrubbery is, you know, seems like chest high at the max. Here we are at mile 6, and I would say the road's a little bit narrow. I mean, if you're going to stay in your lane, it's not going to be the easiest thing. But if you have to pass another vehicle, you just wait for a wider spot. Okay, I don't know exactly where we are, but there's some turnouts here, and you can kind of come out here and check out the different foliage. I think what we want to do is stop and see what's going on right here. This is interesting. I don't know how much further to the summit, but they definitely encourage people to stop and take a look at this. Oh my gosh. Wow. This is cool. Won't be able to give much commentary because of the wind here. I'm behind the truck, but it's definitely interesting stuff. It's definitely going to be a warm day today in Gorham, like in the upper 80s. And currently right here where we're at, it's 59 degrees, and there is definitely a little bit of wind. But Mount Washington is known for its wind. In fact, I guess they recorded a 230 mile per hour sustained wind back in the, I think, the 1930s. I don't know, that's crazy. So I don't think it's going to be 200 miles an hour today, but it is supposed to pick up later in the afternoon as far as the wind. And I don't know, it might not be shorts weather, so I might have to throw on some pants. Here's mile 7. I don't know how, I honestly don't I don't know how long it is, but we have to be getting close, because it doesn't seem like there's much more up to go. Wow. Okay, I can see the building that the New Hampshire State Park District built. So I don't know exactly what they call it, but I think that's like the observation area. There's a couple different buildings up here, some of them historic, and we're not going to be able to cover everything, but I definitely want to visit some of these spots up here. So let's go figure out what we got in front of us here. Wow. So off to my right over here is the cog railway, I believe. So that's interesting. Wow. So let's circle around and see what we can find. I think this is it. I think we're getting close to the actual end. Okay, there's different parking areas. I'm just going to park here to the right, and then we can walk. Wow. There's a ski area directly in front of me, and I don't know what that is. I think it's Sunday River. Okay, so I'm parked here at the top, and I want to walk on up to the state park. There's a building up there that the state park built. It's named after a gentleman. I can't remember the name right now. So at any rate, there's supposed to be a cafeteria in there, an observation deck. There's a couple of things to see up there. So let's head up the stairs and see. Because of the wind, I'm probably going to have to do some dubbing, audio dubbing over, and maybe do some commentary. But at any rate, I want to go see what's going on up top. So we came from up this way, and then I parked in the lower parking area, and we can just use the little walkway to get up to the top here. So if I understand correctly, I'm on the east side of the summit, and the wind is coming from the west. Well, there you go. It's the Sherman Adams Visitor Center, and that's the building that was built by New Hampshire State Parks. And then straight ahead, that's the Tip Top House. And over this way, I guess this is where they do all their observations. This one's labeled the Yankee Building. So we got the Tip Top House over here and the summit. You can see people waiting in line to get their selfie. And a Tip Top House. Here's the Yankee Building. So I guess this is pretty important. Looks important with all the antennas and communication stuff. This is the direction we came from, back that way. Let's head on over to the observation deck. I think it's going to get pretty windy up this way. I can see a sign over there that says Trinity Heights Connector. So as I mentioned, there's a bunch of footpaths that you can hike on all through this area. I mean, all through the National Forest and on Mount Washington also. And then, yeah, there's the summit, Mount Washington Summit. So I believe that's 6,288 feet. And the wind's not too bad, but this is the observation deck right here. So we're up on the observation deck, and I'm going to be looking west, I believe, and so yeah, facing the wind. Wow, oh my gosh, very cool. So you can see the cog railway, you can see the road that we came up on. Let's take another peek from this angle over here. Definitely can feel the wind, but it's, when I say wind, it's not serious at all.
Oh my gosh, look, that resort we drove by is right there. This way, Mom. Outside? Yes. Okay.
So there is a museum here. I'm not going to tour the museum. You guys can check that out yourself. But the way I understand it is the museum is rather interesting. But right now we're in the cafeteria area. And of course the gift shop. So this is all part of New Hampshire State Parks. I didn't think I was going to enjoy the auto road itself as much as I did. And although I only stopped a couple of times, I'm definitely on my way back down. I'm going to take some time and take a look at those lookouts and those turnouts. So I would definitely encourage you to fully exploit that road. There are some awesome views to be had there. And the summit, it did not disappoint either. Now there's a couple caveats here. One being it's a Wednesday, middle of the week, so this isn't weekend type crowds. And the other thing is I've been paying attention to the weather really closely, and so I specifically chose this day versus another day that might have been more cloudy or more windy or whatever. I never put on any pants. I'm glad I didn't. And it was very comfortable, a little bit of wind. At any rate, really enjoyed it. I totally recommend coming up here. If you notice, there were steps heading up there, but if you're worried about accessibility issues, if you have a disabled placard, then you can, I think you can bypass those steps. You could drive up to the upper level park there, and then so you still have to walk around, obviously, on the trails and whatnot. But at any rate, you don't have to use those stairs. Another way to bypass the stairs is the cog railway. So I've never used the train to get up here, but I know it is there. And yeah, you got to check out the website, just this whole area in general. Oh my gosh. Anyway, I could just keep going on and on. But what I want to say here is this: do your research, check the websites, check online, and see what sort of activity best fits you, so that you can plan and you can schedule and get the best bang for your buck. As far as the cafeteria there, I think that's something you could probably bypass, but it's there. It's nice. They have hot food. You can get a slice. It's, so I'm not knocking it. I'm glad it's there, but you could probably do pretty good by just bringing your own sandwich, or just having a little picnic. See plenty of people doing tailgating out here. And the other thing is the museum. So I would encourage you to visit the museum, which is downstairs. Now the elevator, when I was here, the elevator didn't work, so that might pose a problem for accessibility. But when I first got there, I couldn't understand. They wanted me to put a token in the turnstile, and I was like, okay, well, where do I pay? But at any rate, so if you pay for the train or you pay for the auto road, then you can just grab a token. Obviously they accept donations, but you don't have to pay to access the museum. And when I went in the museum, it was a little maybe lackluster. I thought it's really small. But what I did get out of visiting the museum was it helped me get my bearings. So when I was up on the observation deck and I was looking at the different mountaintops and stuff like that, they have plenty of information in there to help you get your bearings, figure out, what am I looking at here and there. So I'm glad I visited that, because then I went back up to the observation deck and I was like, okay, there's that. Or, I didn't know what the Great Gulf really was. I saw it on the map, but I didn't really understand it until I went up there, and they have different models and whatnot you can look at. So that was cool. All right. So yeah, I still have to drive back down, but I'm going to go ahead and close out this video here. I really enjoyed the visit. I'm so glad I came. I'm glad I waited for the weather. And yeah, I encourage you to visit. It was nice. $40 for one person to drive the auto road. It seems like a lot. I don't know if it's bang for your buck money, but I think it is. I don't regret it. Let's put it that way. I don't regret it. Do I wish it was less? Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. That one you're going to have to decide for yourself. I think that's a personal preference. I'm glad, super glad I did the auto road. Didn't think I would enjoy it as much. So, all right. Enough of that. Enough of me jabbering on and on. I really thank you guys for tuning in. I'm glad I could share this with you guys, and tune into the next video. All right. Take care.